What's going on? I'm Chris. Welcome to Random Binder. We got a semi-new format where I'm going to talk about what I've been playing, what I've been watching, something I'm looking forward to, and we'll treat at the end with Channel of the Week, channel or content creator that I'm extra appreciative of this week. But right off the rip, we'll start off with what I've been playing, and that is Uncharted: The Lost Legacy for PS4. Now, my history with the Uncharted series is it's a big reason why I finally plunged into the PlayStation ecosystem. Growing up, I had an NES, Sega Genesis, N64 during like my real cognitive starting to play video games years. The handhelds, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, and had a GameCube. Had a Wii, unfortunately, inherited my brother's OG Xbox way after the 360 had come out. Got a 360 at the very end of the cycle when Modern Warfare 2 was popping off and Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops 1. That era is when I finally got my own 360. And it was around that time that I had been listening to Podcast Beyond, and then I listened to PS I Love You XOXO with Colin and Greg, and then finally took the plunge. One summer, I had my first graphic design internship at my college, and was living on campus, so I didn't have to like get an apartment, but I wasn't gonna make the hour commute every day. Long story short, I bought a giant box of a PS3 Slim on eBay, along with some games, which ended up being the Uncharted trilogy, Portal 2, and a couple other games, maybe some of the PS3 collection. I'm a little foggy on the details, but that would have been 2016, I believe. And absolutely fell head over heels in love with the Uncharted original trilogy on the PS3. So the whole reason I got it was for that and for The Last of Us. Last of Us obviously was life-changing, but I look back so fondly on Uncharted series. I played 1, 2, and I want to say 3 on PS3, and then got the Uncharted Nathan Drake collection, played through all of them again on PS4. And I got my PS4, which was, not on, I got an Vita off Craigslist. I got my PS3 Slim off eBay, but I used my tax returns from my internship to get the PS4 Slim model bundle with Uncharted 4, and that was my first retail purchase for myself, the first console I bought from an actual vendor. It was probably through Best Buy or something, I don't know, who knows. And I got it delivered to my college, and I used the worst internet, not Wi-Fi, plug-in internet, to download everything and download all the updates so I could play Uncharted 4. But yeah, absolutely love Uncharted 4. Such a soft spot. So it's a big reason why I got into PlayStation. Then I got PS4, I have the PS5. Big, huge. I've been going back ever since, trying to play through all the PlayStation titles I missed through the PS3 HD collection, stuff like that. So Uncharted Lost Legacy came out during the time, and of course this is kind of timely. The PS5 Pro has been announced somewhat recently. I'm batch recording these. The PS4 Pro was kind of a crappy time for me in the PlayStation ecosystem because it felt like the games were gonna stop being as well optimized for the base PS4 Pro or base PS4. And I just wasn't interested in playing a watered down version of Death Stranding or Last of Us Part 2 or Ghost of Tsushima. And obviously that was leading into COVID, so that was just a weird time overall. But I don't even know if this game could have come out in 2019 for all I know, but I think I waited a little bit in hindsight to play Uncharted 4 because I played through the Nathan Drake collection first. So I was just late getting to this. I didn't want this to spoil Uncharted 4. And by the time I beat Uncharted 4, I was just it was such a long game, and I was just kind of done. It was a fitting end, and I didn't really want to kind of dig back at this. I love Chloe. Nadine, I feel like we barely got in Uncharted 4, so I was why the hell would I want a game focused around her? Turns out I was dead wrong, but so that's all that. And another little tidbit is that the gym I've been going to has a GameStop right around the corner, so I kind of went there as like a little treat when they announced their retro gaming initiative, which at that location ended up being very pitiful. But they did have this for 10, 12, 15, something like that. But like pristine copy, you know, obviously like has the disc and the reversible cover art, like has all the slips and everything, which I personally love, the marketing slips and stuff like that. So enough about the history. The game itself is absolutely mind-blowing. I believe I gave it a 9 out of 10, a 4.5. Yeah, 4.5 out of 5 stars. You know, the only reason it's not a 10 is because, like, I think a little bit longer with the story and the characters and like a few more set pieces would have really elevated it to that like 10 out of 10 masterpiece. But it's truly just like very efficient at delivering incredibly impactful story beats. These beautiful, some of the best visuals. I took so many damn screenshots on just the PS5. And it's just the PS5 version of this game, but not the PS5 upgrade, not the Thieves, Legacy of Thieves collection. I didn't end up springing for that because I can always play that again in the future if I really liked it. I might play Uncharted 4 again in the future if they ever announce a new one. But I just want to play the PS4 version just to see how it looked. And it looks absolutely stunning. It puts most other modern games to shame. It's insane how good Chloe's character model looks. With like the rain physics, like the water physics, her hair, her like bangs plastered to her forehead during like particular missions, like how she gets like cut up and scraped up, her and Nadine both, like during like a perilous set piece and stuff like that. And just like top tier acting, top tier motion capture, and just great story that I'm assuming it's the same composer. I'll have to look that up, but absolutely crazy. It was just so damn well done. I was at the edge of my seat to know what was going to happen next. I loved the friendship between these two. There was another, the addition of another Uncharted character that wasn't Nathan or Sully that I could have done without, but I think in hindsight, like, it was good to have that character. But you know, it definitely shifted the tone and shifted away from like these two, and it was I went from being like, why would I care about them going on an adventure, to being like, thank God we had this awesome game to presumably tie the bow on Chloe Frazier's adventures. Such a favorite from Uncharted 2 onward. Yeah, absolutely love this game. I think I'm glad I played the PS4 version. I think I will replay it in the future, this and 4, with the PS5 upgrade, just to see. I'm sure it'll be like $10 one day as well. But yeah, I played through this in a week. I would set aside to play a couple chapters per night leading up to Black Myth Wukong, which is, I guess I could talk about that now. What I'm looking forward to is Black Myth Wukong. But I was just going through my PS4, PS5, my PlayStation backlog, and I was like, all right, if I'm going to buy a new game, I'm trying to be more mindful about not having this crazy backlog. If I'm going to buy a new game day one, I had a lot of fitness goals of doing, I think it was 1,000 push-ups leading up to Black Myth Wukong. To kind of unlock that, I'm doing the same with cardio miles for the next couple games, and I'm getting day one. But that, and also I had to beat a certain amount of games. I beat Ratchet, Rift Apart, and a couple other PlayStation games, but this was the last game I wanted to play leading up to it, so I had to kind of be disciplined, play a couple missions per night in my recliner, and it was amazing. It was a truly awesome adventure, and I definitely look forward to playing again, and definitely one of the best looking games I've ever seen. So it was awesome. It was great. Incredible set pieces, just like crazy, and just great acting. I keep thinking on all the little story beats for Chloe, but yeah, that was all in for leading up to Black Myth Wukong, which over the top excited about. it seems to be that it's delivering on the promise that those trailers had. Like, I've been following those trailers for a bit. I remember hearing about that first trailer that I'd missed, and then ever since then, like, the action looks insane, production quality, like, the only problem is I'm concerned about being pretty bad and not the most patient with these Souls-likes. So we'll see how that goes, but fingers crossed it works out well for me. But super looking forward to getting to sit down and play with it. It's not the most busy fall. I'm not playing Black Ops. I'm not playing Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, whatever the fuck that game's called. The new Tenkaichi game. I'm not playing that day one. Sonic and Shadow. Not playing that day one. So, but some games I'll talk about over the next couple episodes. Metaphor Fantasia was going to take up at least like a month and a half of my time of just focusing on that because I'm so bad about beating RPGs. I've a new Zelda game creeping up on me in that Link's Awakening style that I'm very much looking forward to, and fingers crossed I should be playing Mario and Luigi Brothership right around my birthday, and then a couple other games. But Black Myth Wukong is going to take a lot of concentration to get through by the sounds of it, but I look forward to checking that out. So that's something I'm looking forward to. I'm a bit out of order today. In terms of watching, obviously, I said I've been playing a couple, sessions, a couple of chapters a night. That's like an hour and a half to almost 2 hours per night, depending on the night. So I haven't been watching anything show-wise, but I did watch the movie Edge of Tomorrow, starring Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt. And the story behind that is it's one of the movies that they're watching on. Is it Watchlist? Jesus. It's Retro Rewind is the name of the channel. Awesome channel by Mr. Matty Plays. He has Mr. Matty Plays, Retro Rebound, and Retro Rewind. Call Sheet, thank you. Call Sheet is the show that I'm thinking of. That they watch basically a new movie that Matty hasn't seen before each week, and I had never seen Edge of Tomorrow, so I kind of been using that as an excuse to watch some of these new movies that I haven't seen before. It's the reason I watched not Insomnia, what the hell is it called? Memento, which is one of the best movies, one of my like new favorite movies. I don't remember where it ranks. I think it might be top 10, definitely top 20 for sure, which I've seen hundreds and hundreds of movies, so it's kind of hard to crack that like top 20 without it being something really nostalgic, like some of the Marvel movies. Not that it's nostalgic, but a good example is Far From Home or No Way Home. Really tugged at my nostalgia heartstrings with the incorporation of past Spider-Man stories, so that snuck up in my top 5. But other than that, it's pretty hard to do so with how many movies I've watched at this point. But that being said, Edge of Tomorrow definitely not in my top 5 in terms of like high concept thinking and like Christopher Nolan type stuff. But in terms of an action movie, it's one of the most fun and like surprisingly absolutely fucking heartbreaking movies I've seen in a while. It's Tom Cruise acted his ass off. He was really easy to be unlikable at first, which obviously like helps the redemption arc like be that much more impactful, that you're kind of rooting for this guy. He was really funny in his delivery, but God, it gave me chills, some of the moments and some of the choices he had to make as someone who was, as the alternate title was Live, Die, Repeat. I had to keep dying over and over, and like what that would do to like your psyche. Plus it was just a really gory movie, and like I was trying to figure out how to explain it when I was talking to my fiance Sarah about it, but it's not like unfair, but you don't always get the happy ending for a lot of these interactions, for a lot of these side characters, like the Groundhog's Day thing. A lot of these things you think are going to go really well, be very triumphant, and then it just cuts your legs out from under you. I'm not 1,000% sure what to call that style of storytelling. It's just mean comes to mind, or like bit jaded, like gritty and real, I guess, where it's like it doesn't always work out. There's a lot of that, which kind of hurts sometimes for me to watch, but it made it more impactful. So I really wanted everybody to have a happy ending, and that's not how it always works out in some of these stories, and this was definitely one that wasn't afraid to kind of step over the line and take the legs out from under the main character, out from the audience of what they were hoping to see. Not quite subverting expectations in the way that Ryan Johnson did, but that will forever be ruined by that man. But yeah, Edge of Tomorrow, awesome movie. I think I rated it like 4 stars, like maybe 4.5, in that like it delivered on things that I'd never like seen or experienced before in an action movie. But obviously I wouldn't put it on the level of Memento, like a Christopher Nolan movie. But definitely one of the most fun action movies I've had in a while. That I think that undersells it. I was gonna lead into saying like what a fun action movie, but as soon as I started thinking about the story beats, I was like, God, it's almost on the level of like the things that stick with me, other than like the gore and like the humor, is like the choices, and it reminds me of stuff like oh God, not what the hell is it called? The Prestige. Prestige is what I was thinking of, another Nolan film. But yeah, The Prestige is one of those movies that has lasted with me since the day I saw it. And it reminds me of that like punch in the stomach, a little bit, not at all in like the subject matter, but like Interstellar, where it's just like, oh my God, I don't even know what I would do if I experienced something like this, or like, if I had to make a choice like this. So like some of those like out of body type things that like really mess with your head. So Edge of Tomorrow, awesome movie, would recommend it. And then last but not least, so yeah, been playing Uncharted, watching Edge of Tomorrow, looking forward to Black Myth Wukong, and the channel of the week, the inaugural channel of the week, very fitting, goes to Gaming Off the Grid, one of my favorite YouTube channels in general since the day I found them. They were doing a tour of their new studio, and obviously I didn't know anything about them, and I went back and I've almost watched every single one of their videos, which sounds fucking insane now that I'm saying it out loud, because some of these videos are from like I don't remember if they started in 2018 or 2016, but I've watched a lot of videos about the Wii U and stuff that isn't even relevant anymore, but they're such like down-to-earth dudes, so funny. They're big into wrestling, big into retro gaming, and I've definitely noticed myself watching a lot more wrestling, playing a lot more games on disc, and they review a beer every episode, so definitely getting a few more craft beers for my gaming time, which is kind of interfering with my fitness goals, but what are you gonna do? Really great guys. I think as of late, if you're looking to check their channel out and not like go back to the very beginning like me, they've been doing some tours of their collections and kind of like some of the games they're surprised at how much they were worth, how much they got some of these like Genesis CIB games for, and their NES games, Xbox 360. They did a lot of stuff with Xbox 360 store closing, and they're really great about that. Obviously not as relevant now, but they're great for stuff like that. They're huge with like the Wii U eShop closing. So the next big horrible example, but the next time that an online shop is closing, they're good guys to help you know what you should pick up before it closes down. But more importantly, they're just great about retro games, physical collecting. Some of their older videos are like about garage sailing, so if that's something that interests you, they have a lot of great tips that are timeless in terms of picking up DVDs, like what to look for there, where to find some good games, and like things to keep an eye out for if you're flipping your way to a gaming collection. So Gaming Off the Grid, I can't say enough good things. That's probably half the reason why I'm even trying to do something like this. So and they always used to do like a wrap up, I think they do on their Patreon now, a month in review, where they talk about what's been on in the game room, what they've been watching, what they've been playing, game of the month, a lot of different segments. But they used to do the I think they still do the channel of the month and the video of the month. So I wanted to kind of bring that in and talk about some of the creators that I really love and like have influenced greatly, like what I do in my creative, what I'm trying to bring to this space, what I'm bringing to the content creation, is definitely heavily influenced by Gaming Off the Grid. a lot of other guys, Happy Console Gamer, Mr. Matty Plays with Retro Rebound and everything like that. A lot of people I'll talk about in the future, but Gaming Off the Grid is one of the main ones, and they're just so positive. They started streaming again recently, so definitely check them out. But yeah, that's it for this inaugural episode. I have a lot in the can, so they'll probably be all coming out of order and shit like that. But bear with me as I make these. But thank you so much for checking this one out. Keep an eye out for the next one. Looking to post every Friday, and I'll catch you in the next one. Later.